Welcome back to my Boozie review of RuPaul's Drag Race UK Season 2, Episode 6. In this episode, we finally get to the Snatch Game. Well, the UK version. So just like the US seasons, there's usually a couple people that do really, really good, and a couple that really flop spectacularly. Like they end up being really bad. So last episode, they came back after a 7-month delay, which was due to lockdowns due to COVID. While some came back with, let's just say, filled out faces and plumper lips, some came with brand new faces and brand new teeth. All the rest of them, I'm like, okay, they kind of have new faces, but Sister definitely has a new face. So they brought back Joe Black and then promptly got rid of him. And of course, there was the infamous H&M rant.
Don't want to see any fucking H&M.
So who did the queens pick for their Snatch Game characters? Let's find out.
Does that mean that I'm a lip sync assassin? Is that official?
Poor Tia, she's trying to say, oh, does that make me a lip sync assassin? And completely silence. Wait, did that say vegan lashes? I didn't know lashes could be non-vegan. I just thought the lashes were made from plastic, or maybe they mean human hair, or I don't know. Sister's new face is still throwing me. It's like, who's this new person? Like, just her whole look looks different. I mean, she used to wear glasses, had different face, and now it's like, it's unsettling.
Oh my god, I still can't believe it said that. That's like very inappropriate. Ahura.
I have to say, I love how bitchy they are to each other. I mean, I wish the US Drag Race was more like this. I mean, they kind of are, but then they're kind of passive-aggressive about it. They just need to be hateful bitches all the time. And Twitter, leave them alone so they can continue being hateful bitches. That's my PSA for today. Now, I'm not saying that Ahura is not genuinely feeling these emotions, but I almost feel like he saw Ellie crying and having a moment with Rue, and he's like, I want to do that too. I actually don't mind Ahura. I'm not like against her or anything. I don't hate her, but she doesn't seem like 100% genuine. Like, it's kind of like, maybe it's because I'm not a very emotional person, so I kind of know sometimes you feel like you're like, I need to, it's like you almost feel like, okay, now it's time to insert those emotions because that's what everyone's expecting. So you kind of like, okay, now it's time to do the emotional thing. So I'm going to reproduce emotions that I don't actually have. But even Ellie's actually seemed a little out of place. It's like, I love my family. And then she's breaking down and being like, my family's so supportive. I'm like, wait, you're crying because your family is supportive? Maybe the show just makes me cynical, but sometimes they break down. I'm like, is this a chance to break down in front of Rue, or because you want to show that vulnerability? Because you know Rue wants that vulnerability. So deciding to cry and get emotional over something. I don't know why I'm getting so emotional, but at least, see, I have vulnerability. I was surprised they didn't do Sister because I thought Rue would just ask her, like, so do you think you'd be funny? Because she wasn't funny in that improv challenge. I mean, I know it's a UK celebrity, but I have no idea who Gemma Collins is. Apparently Rue does, but I don't. I think if anyone can play Miriam Margolyes, it's Lawrence Chaney, but we'll see how it goes. Because I've seen YouTube videos of Miriam Margolyes' interviews, and she's hilarious.
And I said, would you like to follow me to my college and I'll suck you off?
She's very raunchy, but very hilarious. Trust me, search for interviews on YouTube and you won't be disappointed. They're fucking hilarious.
And all I can say to add to that is arseholes will be arseholes, and you're meant to just shit it out.
So I noticed Lawrence Chaney kind of, I don't know if it's the editing or they just took the one that he didn't do well on, but you could tell that he knew, he was like, oh shit, that didn't go well. And he started to try to like go more with it, go more in, thinking, oh, if I go more in, it'll work, but it didn't work. I'm kind of shocked because I thought this would be the perfect character for him. I didn't expect him to kind of flub it. I'm scared for Tia because this isn't a very good Mel B. Maybe she should have stayed with Shirley Bassey. I'm not sure it would be funnier, but I mean, she could sing all her answers. That's the only thing I could think. Because I think Shirley Bassey did the theme to Goldfinger. I'll be like, what would your answer be like? Goldfinger! But you have to go deeper. I don't have quite a deep a voice. I also can't sing.
The bell ends. The bell ends. Bell ends.
The end of it that looks like a bell.
Oh my god. Now Rue's learned what bell end means. He's gonna be using it all the time.
Comedy queens bomb the Snatch Game.
A lot of times it does seem that the comedy queens bomb the Snatch Game, and then it's the ones that aren't known for their comedy that end up winning. I mean, like Bianca Del Rio was really good in hers, but look who won. It was Ben de la Creme, and Ben Dilla wasn't really known for the comedy. I mean, he was, but it wasn't like his forte.
My dad like finding everything one day.
Like you felt outed.
Yeah, well, I was kind of, well, I was kicked outed.
So I guess the LA Diamond, like all the crying and everything and the emotions, I think this had more to do with it than just his brother. It kind of seemed like, oh, your family's supportive, so. But obviously not all of them were supportive. It was his mom and his brother instead of, but his dad wasn't. I'm lucky, I actually had a very supportive family, but I have feelings about parents that would kick their kids out for being gay or trans or just doing drag or whatever. And I'm like, how can you call yourself a parent if you kicking your child out of your house for doing something you don't agree with? It's not illegal, it's not hurting anyone, and yet you're literally throwing your kid on the street. Like, I don't even have kids, but I feel like if I did, I would totally do anything for them. Like, maybe I would give them some, like, hard lessons or whatever, but nothing like that. I mean, I just feel like if you don't know how to parent, you have no business having kids. If anything, it should be a right, not a privilege. It should be, oh no, wait. If anything, it should be a privilege, not a right. It's parenting. If you're not a good parent, don't have kids. To be honest, I didn't feel like any of the Snatch Game was that funny. I think Bimini was the funniest, but I was disappointed in Lawrence. Sister Psycho Lady, I mean, there's a couple of good jokes. Well, one or two. Maybe just even one. But it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't bad, so obviously she's gonna be safe. Tia Coffee, I mean, I didn't really get Mel B from her, and all she was saying is Eddie Murphy this, Eddie Murphy that. I'm like, I mean, there's more to Mel B than just Eddie Murphy. Actually, Taste was kind of funny. I don't really know the character, but it was still funny. My prediction is Bimini's gonna win. Lawrence, Tia, and Ellie will be in the bottom, but it'll be Lawrence and Tia lip syncing. That's just my prediction. I don't know how I feel about this dress, only because I'm not a big fan of brown, but it kind of looks like layers of chocolate, so I do kind of like it. Like I said, it's not my favorite dress, but I do like it. And I like how it's kind of like, has glitter on it too, but it kind of makes it look scaly. I don't know. It's one of those things where I just cannot tell whether I like it or hate it. The one good thing I'll say about the dress, it does show off her legs, and that makes it a plus. And yes, I have heard Jessie Ware. I think I have a few of her songs. I listened to her songs before, but I couldn't name them. I kind of like Michelle's looks. It's kind of like a 70s Cher look with the hair and the bare shoulder look. So Alan Carr, I mean, up close, I don't know if I really like the suit. He's not bad. But when I remember seeing him in the preview, like when, they announcing the judges, and it looked better. It looked better standing up. It looked better from like further away, and then you couldn't really see the patterns. But now they can see the patterns up close. Oh, there's stars. It looks really good. It gives her shape without actually having to pad. Although padding would have might have helped a little tiny bit. But other than that, no, this really looks good. I really like this one. Actually, I really like this. It reminds me of the first Slayer and Buffy the Vampire Slayer, how she looked. Though this one's more like not the face paint, but it reminds me a bit more of what Mel B should have looked like. Like, not all the face paint or anything, but kind of the way she's moving and the way she's like, being all like wild. Reminds me of how Mel B should have been, whereas maybe Tay should have done Mel B. So she isn't completely copying O'Hara, but I know she's kind of copying O'Hara's face mask. Copying O'Hara again. I mean, it's simple compared to what O'Hara and Taste was wearing. It's just like a leopard print dress and a beehive, and then a face mask. I mean, after O'Hara and Taste, this does seem a little simple, but I really like it. I think this is well done for her. And she is showing her body off, which is what RuPaul asked for. The wig is, but I mean, it is supposed to be wild wig, so it is supposed to be historic. I mean, it's interesting, and I kind of like it, but at the same time, I don't get bacteria at all from this. I don't know what really... I don't know if you could really do an outfit that screens bacteria. I don't know if you want to have an outfit that screens bacteria. I mean, apparently a lot of drag queens don't wash their tights a lot, so that could screen bacteria. So I wonder if Sister stole this from Lawrence Chaney or vice versa. It's the same print, the same color print too. Oh my God. It's simple too though, that's the problem. And Lawrence Chaney's thing wasn't that good, so that's not looking good. I mean, she's padded better than Sister, and it's a more interesting... It looks more interesting even though it's basically the same thing. Like, I like Lawrence Chaney's better for some reason than Sister's, but I mean, sometimes it's based on what order they come down the runway. Because Ellie looks like a combination of Taste's and Lawrence Chaney's and whatever. But I like it. It looked really good. He had the bones in it, and it's different than what Taste's is, even though the idea is kind of similar. It's admirable. Yeah, I could see him being safe. They had a couple of jokes that were kind of funny. And Ruler and Bellend from Ellie Diamond, so.
Like, is she a vagina? Is she a jellyfish?
Thank you, Michelle. I swear I was like, my first thing was like vagina, but I'm like, I already said that Rue was wearing a vagina dress, and I can't remember, was it UK or US season this year? How I feel about RuPaul's dress? It's a little, I feel like calling it a vagina dress. So I'm glad, so I'm glad Michelle's added. I don't know why I'm surprised. That pretty much was, they both bombed, so. This will be interesting because I've never seen Lawrence do lip sync. That must really be hard on people's knees. Slamming themselves on the stage all the time. So overall, this was okay, Snatch Game. I mean, it wasn't the funniest. I've seen much better. To be fair, I don't really know all the UK celebrities, so their impersonation might be more spot on. But it's still the humor that comes through. Some of them I'm just like, huh? I just didn't get the jokes. And apparently the judges didn't either, and that's what's important. But the winner seemed obvious. Bimini seemed obvious winner. I'd say Tia and Lawrence being in the bottom was pretty obvious. Unless Lawrence did terrible, I couldn't see Tia being kept because this is her third time in the bottom. I'm not sad to be see her go. I'll miss her, but I guess it was her time. So next episode, it looks like Taste's in some sort of trouble. I'm sure they're being ultra dramatic about it, and it's probably just like a small cut. But we'll find out next episode. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and comment down below how sad you are Tia had to go home. And as always, stay boozy and fabulous.